The first thing Liam noticed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind, the wrong kind. Before the accident, silence had never existed in the Hartman house. There had always been the thump of a basketball in the driveway, the laughter of a teenage boy racing down the hallway, the music Liam blasted from his bedroom while pretending to study. Now the silence sat heavy in every room. It pressed against the walls, against the ceiling, against the heart of the man who built the house in the first place. Michael Hartman stood at the doorway of his son's bedroom, watching the slow rise and fall of Liam's chest. Machines hummed softly beside the bed. The wheelchair rested nearby, untouched. 6 months ago, Liam Hartman had been one of the fastest runners on his high. School track team in Chicago. Now he couldn't move his legs. The accident had taken that away in less than 3 seconds. Michael had replayed those seconds in his mind 1,000 times. The screech of brakes, the drunk driver running the red light, the ambulance lights reflecting in the rain, and the doctor's quiet voice hours later. He survived. But the spinal damage is severe. Severe. Michael had built a multi-million-dollar tech company from nothing. He understood risk, competition, strategy, but there was no strategy for watching your child wake up and realize his legs no longer belonged to him. At first, Liam had tried to stay strong. He cracked jokes with the nurses. He told his father not to worry. But Michael saw the truth in the middle of the night. He heard the muffled sobs through the hospital curtain, and something inside him broke. When Liam finally returned home, Michael did everything he could to make life easier. He installed ramps, medical beds, voice-activated lights, therapy equipment. But money couldn't buy time. And Michael still had a company with 800 employees depending on him. So he hired someone to help. Her name was Carla Jennings. She came with glowing references, years of experience, and the soft voice of someone who knew exactly how to comfort a hurting family. "I'll take good care of him," she promised during the interview. Michael wanted to believe her. He needed to believe her. At first, everything seemed fine. Carla cooked meals, helped Liam with therapy, kept the house tidy. When Michael returned from work late in the evenings, Liam would shrug and say she's okay. Not great, just okay. Still, Michael tried to convince himself that was enough. But something started bothering him. Small things. One night, Liam's water glass was empty even though he couldn't reach the kitchen. Another evening, Michael noticed his son sitting alone in the dark living room. "Why didn't you turn the lights on?" he asked. Liam forced a smile. "I didn't want to bother Carla." Michael frowned. Bother her? That's her job. Liam hesitated. "It's fine, Dad." But Michael heard the pause. And pauses told stories. 3 days later, Michael installed the cameras. He told no one. Not Liam. Not Carla. As a businessman, Michael understood something most people didn't. Trust was important. Verification was smarter. The cameras were small, nearly invisible. One in the living room, one in the kitchen, one in the hallway, and one in Liam's bedroom, positioned only toward the doorway for safety. Michael didn't expect to find anything serious. Mostly he just wanted peace of mind. The first night he checked the footage, everything looked normal. Carla brought Liam lunch. She helped him move from bed to wheelchair. She watched television in the living room. Michael almost felt guilty for doubting her. But on the 4th night, he noticed something strange. At 2:14 p.m., Liam pressed the call button attached to his wheelchair. He waited and waited. 20 minutes passed. Carla walked through the living room holding her phone, laughing at something on the screen. She didn't go to him. Another 10 minutes passed. Finally, Liam wheeled himself slowly toward the kitchen, his arms strained with the effort. Michael watched the footage with a knot forming in his stomach. Liam tried reaching the counter for a glass. His hand slipped. The glass shattered on the floor. He froze. Carla stormed into the kitchen seconds later, not concerned. Annoyed. "What did you do?" she snapped. Michael leaned closer to the screen. Liam's voice was small. "I was thirsty." Carla rolled her eyes. "You could have waited." Michael's hands clenched. But what happened next made his chest burn. Instead of helping Liam, Carla grabbed her phone and started recording. "Look at this mess," she laughed to the camera. "Rich kid thinks he can do everything." Liam lowered his head, and Michael saw something he had never seen before. Shame. The video ended with Carla walking away, leaving Liam to stare at the broken glass. Michael sat frozen at his desk. He had negotiated billion-dollar deals without flinching, but watching his son humiliated inside his own home made his hands tremble. The next morning, Michael didn't go to the office. He sat in the kitchen waiting. Carla arrived at 8 a.m. sharp, smiling as usual. "Good morning, Mr. Hartman." Michael studied her face. The calm, the confidence, the performance. "Sit down," he said quietly. Her smile faltered slightly. She sat across from him. Michael slid his laptop across the table. "Watch." At first, Carla looked confused. Then the video began playing. The kitchen, the broken glass. Her voice mocking Liam. The color drained from her face. "That's not what it—" Michael raised a hand. "Don't." The room fell silent, except for the sound of Liam's wheelchair rolling faintly upstairs. "You were hired to care for my son," Michael said slowly. Carla swallowed. "He's difficult sometimes." Michael's voice hardened. "He's 17. He lost the use of his legs. And you think the difficult one here is him?" Carla opened her mouth. No words came out. Michael leaned forward. "You didn't just neglect him," he said. "You humiliated him." Her composure cracked. "I needed the job," she said defensively. "I was stressed." "So you bullied a disabled kid?" The words landed like a hammer. Carla looked down. Michael closed the laptop. "You're done here." Her chair scraped the floor as she stood. "You can't prove—" Michael turned the laptop back around. 4 different camera angles appeared on the screen. Her shoulders slumped. She left the house 10 minutes later without another word. But Michael didn't feel relieved. He felt something worse. Guilt, because the footage proved something he hadn't wanted to admit. His son had been suffering quietly, and he hadn't noticed. That afternoon, Michael wheeled Liam onto the back porch, where the autumn air carried the scent of fallen leaves. For a while, neither of them spoke. Finally, Michael said softly, "Why didn't you tell me?" Liam stared out at the yard where he used to practice sprinting. "I didn't want to make things harder for you." Michael felt his throat tighten. "Son, nothing is harder than thinking you're alone." Liam's voice cracked. "I hate needing help." Michael nodded slowly. "I know." He crouched beside the wheelchair. "But needing help doesn't make you weak." Liam wiped his eyes quickly. "Then why does it feel like it does?" Michael looked at the empty driveway. "At first, every company I built failed," he said quietly. "People laughed at me. Investors walked away. I felt like a failure every single day." Liam glanced at him. "But you didn't quit." Michael smiled gently. "No." "Why?" Michael rested a hand on his son's shoulder. "Because I realized something important." "What?" "Strength isn't doing everything alone." Liam listened carefully. "It's trusting the right people to stand beside you." For the first time in weeks, Liam's shoulders relaxed. And in that quiet moment, father and son both understood something that cameras could never capture. Pain could isolate people, but kindness could rebuild what tragedy tried to destroy. 2 weeks later, Michael hired someone new. Her name was Rosa Martinez. She had worked for 15 years as a rehabilitation assistant and arrived with no dramatic promises. Just a simple sentence: "I treat every patient like family." This time, Michael didn't rely on references alone. He watched. Not through cameras, but through moments. Rosa cheering when Liam completed his therapy exercises. Rosa patiently teaching him how to cook from his wheelchair. Rosa laughing with him during movie nights. One evening, Michael overheard something that stopped him in the hallway. Liam's voice was stronger than it had been in months. "You know," Liam said, "I think I might try wheelchair basketball." Rosa grinned. "I think you'll be amazing." Michael stepped quietly back into the hallway, blinking away unexpected tears, because the silence in the house was gone. Not completely, but enough. And sometimes hope doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it rolls into the room slowly. On 4 wheels, with a teenager who's learning that life didn't end the day his legs stopped working. It just began a different way forward.